You ever have a kid look you dead in the eye and drop a truth so heavy it feels like the ground shifts under your feet? That's exactly what happened to me. And trust me, no thing no amount of money, no tech wizardry, no business when prepares you for it. Let me tell you about the day my whole world spun sideways, thanks to the smallest voice in my house, one I'd barely learned to hear. I'll never forget it. The late afternoon sun was streaming into my office, glinting off my overpriced gadgets, the kind of scene that would look right at home in a magazine ad for successful tech CEOs. I was elbows deep in a call about encryption algorithms, talking to suits who only cared about numbers and market share, when I saw her, ISA, standing in the doorway. 8 years old, brown eyes too old for her face, watching me like she was waiting for a green light that never came. ISA had only lived with me for 6 months, and every day she still acted like she was just one wrong word away from being shipped off again. I gave her everything: private school, a mountain of toys, her own room with a view, but I gave it the way you'd automate payroll, efficiently, distantly, with good intentions and zero warmth. I'm not proud of it, but that's how I was back then. Sometimes you have to be hit over the head to realize what you're missing, you know what I mean? That day, ISA kept shifting from foot to foot, her small fingers worrying the doorframe. I didn't even look up, just held up that one finger wait gesture adults love. But she'd waited long enough. The next thing I knew, she was at my side, leaning in close, whispering words that knocked the air right out of me. There's a camera in your office, but it's not yours. Everything stopped. My hands froze above the keyboard. I don't remember what the execs were saying on Zoom. Suddenly, their voices were as meaningless as static. I turned and really looked at ISA for the first time. She wasn't just some kid I'd rescued. She was someone with something vital to say. She pointed to the painting my fiancée, Sabrina, had insisted I hang above the bookshelf. It's behind the frame. I've seen it blink at night when you're gone. I tried to swallow, but my mouth was dry as dust. All at once, the puzzle pieces clicked: Sabrina's sudden interest in my schedule, the way she always brought coffee at the exact right moment, her habit of cleaning up when I was on calls. How long have you known? I managed. ISA just shrugged. Since she hung up the painting. I use my tablet to scan for signals when I can't sleep. That one isn't on our network. This kid, 8 years old, found a spy camera that I, as cybersecurity professional, had missed. Yeah, that happened. I finally said what I should have said months earlier. Show me. And for the first time, she gave me a real smile, not the polite one adults get, but a kid's grin, wide and relieved. She ran off to get her tablet and started pulling up network maps, showing me red dots I'd never seen before. This one's behind the painting. This one's in a vase Sabrina gave you in the living room. There's another in your nightstand. My blood ran cold. She said she'd been trying to tell me for 3 weeks, but I was too busy, too distracted by Sabrina's charm. I let myself believe good intentions were enough. Turns out, good intentions don't mean squat if you're not paying attention. When I asked ISA what she'd seen, her answer made my stomach twist. Sabrina comes here when you're not home. She pretends she's cleaning, but takes pictures of your papers. She asks about your schedule. Your friends always seems to be fishing for something. And then ISA dropped a bombshell. I think someone's helping her. Miles comes by when you're away. He and Sabrina talk in your office, whisper about the product launch. Miles, my CFO, my old friend, the guy I trusted with everything. I wanted to deny it, but ISA had no reason to lie. She just wanted to be believed. Why didn't you just tell me? I asked. Her answer cut deep. Adults don't believe kids, especially kids like me. And I thought maybe you already knew. Maybe it was your security system. That's when I realized how much she'd carried alone, how little I'd really seen her. For the first time, I truly listened. We needed help, but not from anyone at my company. If Miles was involved, the route went deeper than I thought. ISA suggested Josephine, the property manager who'd been with my family since before I could shave. She sees everything, but people treat her like she's invisible. She's the only adult who's ever really listened to me here. So we brought Josephine in on it, and she didn't miss a beat. I've wondered about Miss Sabrina for weeks. Too curious, too calculated. I found her in your father's office at 6 a.m. Said she wanted a book, but she was by your computer. With each story, The net tightened. We set a trap. ISA, all 8 years and 3 foster homes of her, ran counter-surveillance like a pro. She intercepted texts, decrypted files, she even hacked into the system Sabrina and Miles were using. What she found floored me. They were planning to frame me for corporate espionage. Miles had been selling company secrets to our main competitor, Apex Industries. Sabrina, turns out her real name was Rebecca Santos, was an undercover operative, an actress specializing in taking down tech execs by seduction and betrayal. That night, we let them execute their plan. Sabrina started downloading my algorithm files, except the files were fakes loaded with trackers and malware. Miles tripped the fire alarm at the office as a distraction, exactly as ISA predicted. Meanwhile, the FBI, tipped off and supplied with all our evidence, was watching everything unfold live, ready to swoop in. When we confronted Sabrina, she tried to act wounded, but the game was up. I laid out everything: her real name, her record, the fact that Miles was being arrested at that very moment. For a second, she looked like she might fight, but ISA, calm as anything, said, "You controlled every variable, but one you never considered: that an 8-year-old foster kid might be smarter than your entire operation." If you could have seen Sabrina's face. The aftermath was surreal. Miles, my friend, went to prison. Sabrina, too. ISA became a star witness in the federal investigation. Her testimony, so clear and sharp that even the toughest prosecutors called it ironclad. Josephine stayed by our side, steady as always. The real twist, though, was family. 6 months later, I adopted ISA for real. No more paperwork or questions about who she belonged to. She belonged with us. We changed the house, made it ours. Her drawings on the walls, Josephine's photos on the mantle. No more hidden cameras or secrets. I built her a security scanner based on her designs and filed the patents in her name, youngest inventor in cyber history. They said. She just beamed, her eyes saying everything words couldn't. We started a foundation, ISA, Foundacionto, help people targeted by scammers and spies, to teach folks how to trust their instincts. Turns out, ISA's gift was more than catching bad guys. It was helping people find their voice, trust their gut, and know they're not alone. You know, sometimes it takes a kid to remind you what matters. Listening, trusting, choosing each other over and over again. If you've ever doubted your own gut or felt invisible, your voice matters, and the truth you see could change everything for yourself and for others. So what about you? Have you ever had someone underestimate you or try to tell you your voice didn't count? Have you had to choose between what you wanted to believe and what you knew was true? I want to hear your story. Tell me in the comments. When did you trust your instincts and what happened next? Because sometimes the smallest voice in the room is the one the world needs most.